Hello, my name is Cade Taylor, and the book I chose to read is The Scientist and the Serial Killer by Lise Olsen. The quote I chose to share with you is Dean told me about a warehouse he had rented, Wayne said, the word coming out as warehouse in his Texas twang. Then he offered a chilling claim. The shed was filled with bodies of murdered boys, and I can show you where it is. This is a mystery because whenever they use the word bodies, it doesn't tell us if there's two or if there's 200. For my first summary, I chose to summarize the characters. First off, we have Dean Coral. He was the owner of a candy shop, and that is how he gained the title, the Candy Man. Sharon Derrick is a forensic anthropologist, which is just a scientist who studies human skeletal remains to help with identification and determining the cause and manner of death. She is the one who discovered the remains of the Candyman's victims. And we have Wayne, Henley, and David Brooks, which I'll talk more about them in a minute. And the Lost Boys, which is just a term for any of the Candyman's victims. And many of them weren't identified until Dr. Sharon Derrick's investigation. In the early 1940s, Dean Coral was a man who seemed normal, lived in Houston, and had the nickname the Candyman. He then later was known of luring teenage boys into his home where he brutally tortured and murdered them. While doing this, he had two teammates, Wayne Henley and David Brooks. Together, they committed one of the worst killing sprees in American history. Their actions shocked not only their city, but the country. And later, Dean was killed by Wayne, which led to most of the victims being unidentified because the Candyman could no longer confess to his wrongdoings. This case became popular for its absolute horror and the mysteries regarding the unknown teenagers. Bringing back the case. After many years had passed, forensic anthropologist Sharon Derrick found a box of evidence labeled 1973 murders while she was working at the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. She really wanted to find out who the victims were, so she started her own mission to identify the remains. Her efforts marked a turning point in this case, because this offered a shift from not just the killers, but also the victims now. She helped bring back more attention to this case. The investigation. She began her investigation by trying to match the remains to missing person reports. She tried many different techniques, including looking through many decade-old records, talking to family members and law enforcement, and finally, DNA analysis. Legacy and reflection. This book shows the impact her work, effort, and findings had on the victims' families and the community. It helps to show not only the victims, but also those who are willing to spend so much of their own time to uncover the real truth. Personal connection. While reading this, it kind of reminded me of a documentary I watched on Netflix about Gabby Petito. I think these two have a correlation because it goes to show how anyone can have a dark side and no one may know. The characters I can closely relate myself to are the investigators and Dr. Sharon, because they were the only ones who didn't brutally murder people, and they helped find out the truth, which is what I would have done. The difficulty of the book is pretty easy. I would say, considering the words and vocab they used, that it was pretty easy to read and understand. The author used personal interviews and real files from the case, which help us better understand everything that was going on during the case. Recommendations and final thoughts. I would recommend this book to anyone who's interested in serial killers and horror/true crime. I think they would enjoy this. At first, it may seem a little disturbing reading the things that the killers did, but if you like true crime, then this is for you, and you'll find it way more interesting than disturbing to find out what really happened with the Candyman.